What's going on, good family? Happy Monday. You know what it is. It is what it is Monday. With yours truly, AB. My guy D-Butt, man. He's going to be joining us shortly. But it's Monday, December 5th, man. Excited as always, man, to join in and talk some good football, some current events. You know what I mean? What's going on? What went on over the weekend? What went on yesterday in the NFL? Obviously, last night, Sunday night football. Talk about tonight's matchup, Monday night football. So we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, we're gonna talk about this heater I was on yesterday. Shit, undefeated in the money line against the spread. Did damn well as well. You know, one of my guys sent me upon his slip that he used my cheat sheet on, man. So shout out to him with that bank. Got the Commanders and the Giants, man. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Sunday night football, man. Our Colts, man, a tough loss against the Dallas Cowboys. We're gonna talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, man, still flying high. My Cincinnati Bengals, man, led by Cool Joe, was able to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, man. It just seems like Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, man, they have their number. I think every time they played, it's been a great matchup. So obviously we're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on Jimmy G. Jimmy G, broken foot, out for the year for the San Francisco 49ers. Purdy coming in, did a good job. But what does the rest of the season look like for the San Francisco 49ers? Lamar Jackson, first quarter, left the game with a knee injury. What happens with the Baltimore Ravens? Is it a serious injury? They said it's going to be days to weeks. It's not a season-ending injury, but again, how does this hurt or help their playoff implications as this season continues? Deshaun Watson back first game, obviously serving his 11-game suspension with his accusations. That has happened. They was able to go back to H-Town and get a win. Wouldn't say he played a great game. Obviously, expected some rust. So we want to touch on that as well. So a lot of good stuff, man. As always, man, y'all go into the Twitter or y'all can hop in the comment section. Ask us your questions, man. Obviously, we want that interaction with you guys. As always, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to this Is What It Is Monday. We're going to catch y'all on the other side, baby. What's going on, man? We back. We're gonna jump right into it. And I'm gonna start with our Colts. Sunday night football. Cowboys 54, Colts 19. This puts our Colts at 4-8-1. Coming into this game. I want to say the Colts was 10.5-point underdog. I know a lot of people say, hey, that's a lot of points. But man, it did not look good for the Colts last night. I think on the Cowboys side, everything was kind of clicking for them. Defense was flying around, causing, creating turnovers. And for our Colts, man, I would say Matt Ryan didn't look any. I don't think a lot looked good for the Colts last night. And I think we've all, that play this sport, you have those games where like nothing you do is working. Nothing you do is working. And it's kind of one of them things that kind of happened last night. My guy our guy Jeff Saturday, started off with a huge win, coming in with a win against the Las Vegas Raiders, man. But now dropped a couple, and obviously this game not looking good at all. Just got to figure out what does the future look like for the Colts. And again, it is what it is. Mondays, like, what is the future looking like for the Colts? Obviously, Jim Irsay, he's gonna go through his procedure as far as who's gonna be the head coach next year. But right now, at this point of the season, Matt Ryan was on the bench. Jeff Saturday is hired as the interim head coach. First thing that he does, he brings Matt Ryan back off the bench and names him the starter. And I totally agree with that. At that moment in time. But right now, where the Colts are sitting at 4-8-1, got 4 games left. I think something, some things gonna have to happen for them to be able to get into the playoffs. I think obviously with the Titans losing yesterday to the Philadelphia Eagles, they're still ahead. They will have to drop drastically, and the Colts will probably have to win out for them to be able to, win the division and get into the playoffs. But your opinion, your thoughts, like, is this a situation where, we just try to see what we have? Obviously we're not going to tuck our tail. We're not going to quit. I know we not. That's not the identity that Jeff Saturday is going to bring to that team, just in that building in general. But I don't know what the answer is. So that's going to be something that we got to keep a lookout for. But Cowboys still playing some good ball. I think with the Philadelphia Eagles still playing good. The Washington Commanders and the New York Giants tying yesterday. That division playing some real good ball down here in the stretch. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what's going to happen. Gunner, time for Matty Ice to hang him up. Hey, Father Time waits for nobody. I'm not gonna say hang him up, but it's looking rough out there. It's looking rough. Skylar, build at the defense in that fourth quarter. What do you try and do to get reset and try and play when it's that bad? Man, you just hope and wish somebody makes a play. Again, I've been in a situation, and I vividly remember playing with the Colts, going down to New Orleans and playing Drew Brees, man. And at halftime, I think they probably put up like 30-some points on us, man. And it's just one of them things where you try to go back and you forget the first half and say, hey, man, we just got to take it one play at a time. Try to make a play. Offense, hey, help us out defensively, man. Get a stop, get a sack, strip sack, interception or something, man, just to try to turn the tables. But again, man, when you out there and it seems like nothing is going right, seems like the damn game gets longer and longer and longer, man. So as a defense, that's kind of what's going through your mind while you out there on the field, on the sideline. Pretty sure when my guy D-Buck gets in here, man, he's gonna have his take on what he thinks the coach should do and what that game looked like. But it's a tough one for our coach. Tough one. Till past once told how he torched the defense all week as scout quarterback when he prepared for Breed. I might not been there for that one. But shit, man, moving on to the next game. Like I said, put your comments in the comment section. We're gonna touch on this Thursday night football game. The Bills at the Patriots. Bills 9-3. Look at my guy right there. Yo.
How the service? How I sound?
So you good?
All right, bet. Sorry about that. I'm out here in the desert, literally. Oh shit.
Nah, you good. Touch on this Thursday night football real quick. 9-3 Bills, 24 at the Patriots, 6-6. They're sitting at 500 right now. Josh Allen and company, man, they was able to, go out there and get the job done. Their first win in that division. So I think that was big for them with the Miami Dolphins. losing yesterday. Bills are sitting in real good position right now. And with Kansas City losing as well, Kansas City are they still your favorite coming out of the AFC?
Oh, the Chiefs. I mean, not the Chiefs. The Bengals. Bengals got their number. I think Burrow 3-0 right now against Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, last time they faced off in the playoffs, took that championship. Dub. Damn, man. Yeah, I still say Kansas City. It would be my favorite. If it was an AFC championship game being played today, I would bet on Kansas City again, probably to win it. Maybe my Dolphins, maybe the Bengals, but I say Chiefs right now still. Yeah. Trying to convince myself. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't sound too confident. We're gonna give you
Yeah.
some. We're gonna give you some weeks. We're gonna give you a couple more weeks, man. We put you on the high
Bills,
spot.
9-3.
But the Bills, man, the Bills looking good. In the AFC, we got a lot of teams. I ain't gonna say a lot of teams. We got a few teams that can push for that crown. You got the Bills, you got the Chiefs, obviously. You got the Miami Dolphins playing some good ball. Cincinnati Bengals, you just mentioned, they're coming on. They're playing well. They're hot right now. So I would say between those four teams, man, you can kind of flip a coin on any given day. And be like, hey, this is the team that could, potentially check it from the AFC. So
absolutely, and they all got dogs at quarterback tour. Obviously had a rough one yesterday. He was missing his tackles, but no excuses. Guys were open. He was off bad for some reason. Lost to Josh Purdy. And everybody gets an opportunity. Everybody's pros out there, but we shouldn't lose with Josh Purdy playing quarterback for the majority of the afternoon.
I always give you a hard time when you talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Quarterback is a major factor in these games. And since we're talking about it, Dolphins sitting at 8-4 right now. Niners also 8-4. Niners was able to, for this game 33-17. And we talked about it. If we create a super team, it would be the Dolphins, explosive offense, and the 49ers, talented defense. You had the Dolphins in this game. I had the 49ers. But I always talk about, man, it's quarterbacks are very, very, very important. But the other aspects of the games or the teams are key. And I went defense here. I just felt like the way the defense was playing with a lot of confidence on the field. I'm pretty sure D'Amico Ryans just having way more confidence. Play calling as well. Just seems like everything is working right for them. And then when you look on the offensive side of the ball for the Niners, Jimmy G was playing good, but having weapons all around them, it just felt 49ers was a better team. Not saying Dolphins was some shit. Obviously, they've been playing good, but as a team, I just felt the Niners was good. But you're gonna learn about that quarterback.
Yeah. I'm still with the quarterback. We just heard the teams we named the AFC. And right now you look at the 49ers. Last week, everybody, hey man, it's the NFC championship. This is probably a Super Bowl, favorite to appear from the NFC, even with the Eagles sitting at 10-1. But now they're gonna lost Jimmy G for the year. You're not gonna find nobody that's gonna say that, man. It's a quarterback-driven league at the end of the day, man. And I wish one of my quarterbacks, Tua, played much, much better yesterday, but he didn't. And one of the individuals that I was worried about wrecking this game wrecked it. Nick Bosa, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Our guy, man-to-man alum, Jimmy Ward, had a nasty pick, getting straight horizontal to the field. But like you said, D'Amico Ryan's got this defense playing at an unbelievable level. Weapons all around the field on the offensive side, so that whatever quarterback does play, they definitely have the best opportunity to succeed. And Josh Purdy, he played well too. He played good. He looked like he stepped right in there, like the moment definitely wasn't too big for him. I think Mr. Irrelevant a couple of years ago. So shout out to him, but very disappointing loss for my Dolphins over there in the AFC East. But it was a good game for a little bit. We had that fourth and then it got ugly at the end. But Good game though. Good game.
Nah,
So you already showed your record?
nah.
No, I
We
missed the
gonna, we
beginning.
gonna wait. We gonna wait. I wanted you to. I wanted you to be on screen before I pull the records up. You know what I'm saying? We got time. We got time. You know.
Yeah, it was hot. It was hot.
Yeah.
We had a lot we agreed on at first in the pick show, and then as the show went on, we started
Started
going.
spraying off.
Yeah.
Started going with your heart and all this other shit. But it's all good. We gonna take our time, man. Next game up, man. We got the Commanders and the Giants. It's another good game. The Washington Commanders, Giants tied 2020. Commanders at 7-5-1, Giants 7-4-1. Spoke about it briefly. Gonna get your thoughts on the Indy and the Cowboys game. But we just talked about, this NFC East, man, where these teams are playing well. This division is playing really well. Any thoughts on this game? I know you went with the Giants. You went with the home team here. I went with the Commanders. Any thoughts here?
Nah, I think this was a pick'em on Saturday, I believe, and I think everybody expected this one to be a tough, a close, a physical game. That's what it was. Heineke made plays late to put it in the overtime. Saquon, he's still continuing on with his stellar season. Just entered back into the 1,000-yard club. I know he's been dealing with a lot, so that's good for him. But I mean, these teams, if any one of these teams lost yesterday, I think their chance to make the playoffs would have been like 30 or something % lower. They end up tying. It was a close game. I think they play again in 2 weeks. So this division obviously it looks like it's going to be won by the Eagles, but it could still easily put 3, possibly even 4 teams in the playoffs. But this game was, I feel like, pretty much what we expected. Going into it.
Yeah. Again, I think this is really going to be interesting just to see how these teams are able to finish out. Like you said, they play each other again in 2 weeks, man. So this last stretch is going to be real important for a lot of teams, especially these two. So
facts, man.
We'll see, man. The Broncos and the Ravens, man. Broncos 3-9. I thought they was going to be able to pull this one out. Ravens. Lamar Jackson left first quarter with a knee injury. They say, it's either day-to-day, week-to-week, not a season-ending injury. But the Ravens not looking good. Even when he was in the game at the quarterback position, man, the Ravens not looking good. And that's just not offense. It's defensively, too. I know they held the Broncos to 9 points, but that offense hasn't been doing shit this year anyway. But I don't know. I don't know what it is about the Ravens, man. They was able to pull this game out and win this game. I felt as though this score shouldn't have been this tight. But lately, man, they haven't been playing well.
Yeah, I mean, and they've been winning. They've been finding ways to win. And even the 4 games that they have lost, if you think about those losses, a lot of those were games where they had the lead in the second half or even the fourth quarter and lost. So they could easily be sitting at 10-2 right now and not playing their best ball. I don't feel like really for any stretch this season. But Lamar Jackson, his team has found ways to win. Defense over the course of the season played better. They still had a rough start, played better in these last few, not so great. But you find a way to get a win in December with your backup quarterback. Obviously, we know we're gonna take that. We're not playing our best ball. We sitting at 8-4. We're gonna take it. But Burrow's in the division. We talked about the other teams at the top of the AFC when you're talking about really contending. And if you look at what the Ravens been putting on film, putting on the field, neither one of us could look at that and say, that's enough to get it done in the playoffs. But on the other side of that, the lowly Broncos once again putting up 9 points, falling to 3-9 on the season. Outside of I would say biggest disappointment, but I'm more disappointed obviously with our Colts at this point, especially after that shellacking last night. But this season for the Broncos right now, man, let's have to pay your quarterback.
Yeah,
this is the most disappointing team in the league right now. But this is the one.
It's just a lot of people in that building, got to do a lot of soul searching, got to look themselves in the mirror. And some decisions got to be made, man. Because again, like you said, paying your quarterback all that bread.
What decision though, AB?
I mean, some tough ones. Some
You
tough
go
ones.
with head coach, one and done. You
Some
got to
tough
go a
ones.
different direction.
Yeah, Steve Wilkes was one and done.
No, shit, it ain't unprecedented at
That's what I'm
all.
saying. I mean, tough decisions going to have to be made. It's going to be a tough decision to be like, yo, come back and we're going to try this shit again. That's a tough decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
A tough decision to be like, hey, look, I appreciate it, but it shit did not look good this year. Like, we're going to have to go elsewhere. But all I'm saying, I'm not calling for anybody's job, but some tough decisions are going to have to be made. Because I don't think anybody is happy with the 3-9 and the way it's looked on film. You know what I mean? It's just like the product that's out there on the field is not good.
Speaking of nobody been happy, especially the defense. Once again, another game that that was the thing, if they were able to score 18 points in regulation, the Broncos would be 9-1, 10-1, whatever. It's another week of that same thing. And that's cool if you got a rookie quarterback, you down to your backup, your third string. You got a quarterback situation like we got an Indy. It ain't cool, but you can look at it and say, oh, okay, I see. Quarterback just 250? Nah, that ain't gonna get it done. Head coach just brought in to be an offensive guru, whatever. Defense playing lights out. They got I believe a first year D coordinator too.
Yeah,
and he been doing his thing. So to have this kind of season for them go to a waste because it's the wrap for them. That's tough to see, man.
Yeah, it happens, and we definitely will see the Broncos next year. But I think a big thing, and you've been in these locker rooms where the season hasn't gone the way you thought it would go. One of the big things is like, okay, well, let's try to end the season on a good note. Going into the off season on a good note, have some things that we can build on in the off season. So sitting at 3-9, you got 5 games left. Like, what can we make of these remaining 5 games? So I think that's, silver spoon, I guess, something that we could take out of the season. So
something, everybody got their own situations. Some players probably on contract years. Some, young players trying to get it. It's just it's tough, man. Because I know the expectations in that city, that organization, that building, going into this year was like, oh yeah, this finally, man, we've been saying it, and now sitting here, like you said, this last 5 weeks, it's big, obviously, to stay together, and this is where now, it may be certain days or times where, hey, guys are putting their extra work in the building. Maybe we stay after as a group 20, 30 minutes to do some extra film study, something. Now, Cass, like, I'm going home, man. I'm going to do treatment at home. I'm going to do this at home. The Airbnb out in Tulum already booked.
Man,
so,
what?
It's tough right now, man. Hey, I keep fighting. Everything has been evaluated, man. If you are a free agent, if you are a young guy who may not be brought back to the roster next year or whatever, everybody outside of Surtain and Russell Wilson probably in that building could potentially be somewhere else. But when you are being evaluated and they're watching that film, they're not going to say, oh, okay, they were 3-11 in this game, so let me just watch this film from that lens. Like, nah, whatever you put on that tape is going to be evaluated. So always be a pro and have pride in what you're putting out there.
That's facts. Another good one. Steelers at the Falcons. 1916 Steelers, man. Steelers was able to pull this one out. Falcons try to make a late run. Steelers sitting at 5-7. Falcons at 5-8, man. Mike T, man, he pushing, man. He pushing for that 500. Pushing that 500. You seen that clip, man. He was walking, man. My man was trying to say something to Mike T. Man, Mike T was like, man, I'm fucking working, man. I ain't got time.
I'm fucking working right now.
Hey, but yeah, the Steelers, man, they making a push for it. Obviously, when you get one of the top defensive players in the league back in the lineup, that makes a huge difference. Kenny Pickett, man, he's been playing solid the last couple of weeks. What you think the Steelers team?
We pushing. This is the point in the season where contenders, pretenders separate themselves. We start allocating more time and stuff to the show to the contenders. So I don't think they're in that category yet, but if you're a Steelers fan, it's making you feel better. You know, you're going out there, and once again, your team is competing and trying to win every week. They're getting better as the season's going on. Kenny Pickett, your guy who you want to start from the jump as a rookie, they're the only quarterback drafted in the first round this year. He's looking better every week, and you found I picked him because I picked them because of the quarterback, and then once again that defense led by T.J. Watt. So and the coach too, Mike Tomlin. You know they ain't gonna go out sad. So I like what I'm seeing from the Steelers, but obviously in the big scheme of things, in the grand scheme of things, they not in the picture this year. But
Yeah.
you still like to see guys competing and and scratch and claw. And they got a good core of guys on that team, so I wouldn't expect anything less.
Nah, for sure, for sure. I mean, about it, like you said, Steelers 5-7, Falcons 5-8. Man, Falcons are trying to make a push, but we ain't gonna spend too much time on that.
Mm-hmm.
But we got the Jets, man. Jets 7-5, led by Mike White right now. Lost to the Minnesota Vikings, sitting at 10-2, finding ways to win.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, Pat P, Harrison Smith. Got the Vikings sitting at 10-2, second in the NFC behind the Philadelphia Eagles. And again, the Jets late in this game was trying to make a push. Vikings able to get a pass deflection in the end zone to seal this game.
A pick one this one, yeah. Bind them. Came out.
The Vikings. I know a lot of people were saying, man, all the Vikings serious. The Vikings are contenders.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah.
Jets, last week Mike White, man, had a good game coming in, stepping in for Zach Wilson. This game, it was some plays I think he left out there that he would definitely love to get back. Thoughts on any side?
Jets, I feel like going forward, Mike White's still the guy. You see all the comments in the locker room and the support that he's getting from his guys. And they're going out there and fighting. This is another game where, I think he, threw for over 350. Again, once, like you said, threw that pick late. Vikings made, on the defense side of the ball, made some big plays at big times. Defensively, this Jet team, man, really, really good. Like they bottled Jefferson up for the most part. Kirk Cousins really struggling. They did have something going on the ground though, which you got to have at this point in the year. You got to be able to say, all right, our passing game ain't going this year. I mean, this week. Let's get this backfield going, or vice versa. So that's what they have in the Vikings, man. And people can say what they want. You send at 10-2 through 13 weeks. Only one team in the league with a better record, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles, man. So hats off. Salute to the Vikings once again. New head coach, new GM, and a lot of the same parts that they had last year, but this year finding ways to be on that winning side of things. We found out this is a game last year everybody lost. They probably gave up a play at the end, a drive at the end, and there were opportunities in this game. You're like, damn, they look like they trying to trigger it off. But yeah, this is a good one. I think both of these teams, looking at watching, they both look like playoff teams yesterday, man. So hopefully we'll probably see both of these teams down the line in the dance, in the tourney at least. What are your thoughts?
For sure, man. We're gonna try to get through a couple more of these games, man. We got a guest coming out here to talk some sports stuff with us, man. So we definitely want to give I guess some time, and we'll get some of these games. The one game that I really want to talk about, these Chiefs and Bengals. Chiefs sitting 9-3, Bengals 8-4, led by Cool Joe. My Bengals, my quarterback, one of my quarterbacks, Bengals, man, was able to pull this one out 27-24. Cool Joe, man, he's winning the head-to-head matchup against Patrick Mahomes right now, sitting at 3-0. The Bengals are playing real good ball right now. Beginning of the season was looking a little iffy, but playing some real good ball right now. Complimentary football.
Yep.
Again, the 3 times Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow played, it's been like this, similar to this. Low, high scoring game, but differential is real low, man.
Yeah. Well, it's fine. Hey, this your guy, man. We had a lot of conversations about, me and you at least heard Burrow. Now the conversation is Burrow is Mahomes. Like this this is potentially looking like one of those matchups that could be like a Peyton Tom type. Every time these two quarterbacks match up, it's going to be a dogfight. But to your point, Joe Burrow 3-0, and we have been talking about it for weeks about the Chiefs being the favorite in the AFC. A lot of people probably, I think they just moved up the Super Bowl favorites going into this weekend. And Patrick Mahomes not losing in November, December for
Right.
26 games, I think. So Joe Burrow got in his team, the defense, Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator, he's 3-0 against Andy Reid, their enemy. So that's something to be said right there. Do a lot of different things. They were dropping 8, did a good job. I felt like keeping Mahomes in the pocket for the most part. Obviously, didn't let Kelsey kill him. Kelsey pretty much shut out the first half. Second half got going. But yeah, this was a good game. I think these two teams will definitely be in it at the end. Two good ball clubs, good football, good coaches. This is good NFL product every time these two teams touch. Obviously, I was wrong on this one. I went with the Chiefs.
Again.
I think you went with your guy with the Bengals. But good game, man. This was a real good one.
Now, real good one. I think this is gonna be one of the matchups that we look for year in and year out. When these two teams play against each other, led by two dynamic young quarterbacks, like you said, well-coached teams. So again, I think we'll see them again. We'll see this matchup again in the playoffs. And since we're talking about the picks,
wait, real quick. What was your reaction to the Colts? I missed the early part of the show. I saw as soon as I jumped on, I saw the score on the screen. I said I tried to sleep that shit off and forget, but
man, it's, like I said, it looked bad. It looks bad. For one, as a defense, when you get 54 put up on you, like that's
it wasn't all of this. This was probably how much defense.
It wasn't all on the defense, but it was some big six, some fumbles. I get it, but at the end of the day, on both sides it didn't look good, right? Matt Ryan not looking good. So like I said earlier, it was like when Jeff Saturday got that interim head coaching job, first thing he did was, hey, Matt Ryan, you back the starter, and we both agreed that was the decision that we would have made as well. But right now, like, what do you do? Like, do you?
But it was bad, bro. Like bad. Unfortunately and unfortunately, I'm watching this with my second family basically. A lot of people in town for my boy Ty partied this weekend, so it's 30 of us in the crib just watching the game, and it's just like half of them Cowboys fans. It was like pick, fumble. So shout out Malik Hooker too. Malik Hooker revenge game. I was happy for my dog, but where do we go from here as far as the quarterback? Ellinger was an inactive, I believe, in this game. So Nick Foles the backup. So if we make a quarterback change, would assume that's going to be Nick Foles.
Bro.
Do we feel better about Nick Foles going into the game as a quarterback? Honestly,
yeah,
probably.
Yeah. Yeah, like what you talking about? Like, yeah, yes.
Hey, I don't know what to do, bro. I honestly, like that shit was man. I don't know what to do, dog. And it's bigger than Matt Ryan, but fumble. I want to say back-to-back pick. Like we was playing. Matter of fact, we was playing cards. Hey man, is they put this shit on repeat? Are they rewinding this shit every time we look up? It's the Cowboys running back the opposite way, man. But it was bad all around. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, and I was saying the same thing before you got on. I'm like, shit, I don't know what to do. Like I don't know what to do. Like it's like, okay, we gonna get ready for next year. Like I'm not sure, man. So like you said, last night was ugly. Again, some shit.
4-8-1.
You don't want
Cowboys contenders though.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Defense. Again, formula winning football. Have a good defense. You can control the trenches. You can run the football, and your quarterback can give you a chance to win. I think they have that.
So one thing from last night, though, Dak didn't look great. He didn't look great last night. He was, and obviously his defense and the backfield and those things did their thing, but Dak did not look great. You're looking at that NFC, Jalen Hurts back on top of my MVP leaderboard at least. I don't know about yours. The Vikings. Who else over there? I can't really San Fran after losing their quarterback,
Shit, the
but yeah,
Vikings.
man. You think that's the only?
I
So
mean,
Eagles, Vikings. Who else in that NFC side? Scare somebody.
I mean, I ain't gonna totally jump off that Niners train. I mean, like I said, that defense they got a lot of talent on the offensive side. Obviously, we got to see what Josh Purdy is gonna be able to do if he could be consistent. But Philly, Minnesota,
Like Seattle looked good yesterday. There wasn't too much of a dog fight with
nah,
LA.
I ain't gonna give you that. I ain't gonna give you that one. But we gonna see, man. We gonna see. But
Yeah,
it's
we
tough.
gonna see.
It's tough. It's tough for our Colts, man. And while we talking about it, our week 13 records. You know what I mean? Money line, I was 13-0-1 yesterday against the spread, 11-2-1. But you had a solid day. You had a solid day.
I didn't know it was like that from a 13-0 and
Yeah,
what?
yeah. Was on a damn heater yesterday. But look,
Wow.
this shit ain't nothing new to you though, because you experienced some heaters on them dice anyway. So
I experienced one this weekend too.
but
Hey,
what was your
9-4-1 straight up. So once again, not terrible. 7-6-1 against the spread. And then our producer, it's one of the first time we done see my dog Tone in double digits too. He double digits on the win side. 10-3-1 money line, and then 7-6-1 against the spread. So everybody once again winning records on both sides of the joint, money line and against the spread. Betting and using the FanDuel sports book. And I don't know if you guys saw that parlay AB posted yesterday. Big lick. Using the cheat sheet. What
here
was
you
that?
go.
Oh.
5-leg parlay using the cheat sheet.
They had the money line, had the Vikings money line. They had Green Bay covering the 2.5 point spread. The Browns, we gotta talk about that. Browns covering the 3.5 point spread. Eagles covering the 4.5 point spread, and then the Commanders covering. They're getting 5.5 points on this parlay. Bet 2,000. Big unit pause. Won $19,189 on the FanDuel Sportsbook. So big hit. Shit, if you played all your money line, ain't no telling how crazy that journey look. Oh,
Hey, as we say, man, you use the cheat sheets now, and then
use
we say it all the time. Whatever you do it responsibly.
absolutely.
Do it responsibly, because we don't want y'all to come back. Hey, man, they told us to do this, that, and the third. But
I was actually in the FanDuel Sportsbook out here in Phoenix on the Footprint Arena. It's kind of attached to it. Nice sports book. Walk right across to the arena. They got a bunch of restaurants and shit. Dope. They took care of me. Shout out to FanDuel.
that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Before we move on, man, we got our special guest
Yeah.
backstage, man. We about to bring her in now.
There she go.
There she
What's
goes.
up?
What's going on?
Finally, I mean, I feel like I've been waiting for a long time.
Finally, you join. AB, you gotta give it a proper introduction. AB, I wish I put her in the middle.
You
Put you in the middle. I said.
No, yeah, we good. You good. You good. So here we have the beautiful Ese.
Essay.
I'm sorry. Ese.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Good.
And we're gonna run down your bio a little bit, because you've been doing some major stuff.
Little stuff here and there.
Impressive bio.
For sure. So, sports and media executive that recently pivoted to serving as original content counsel at one of the most exciting streaming platforms in the country. Most recently served as president of House of Athlete a portfolio of brands, including I Am Athlete Media Platform. She began her career in professional sports, working as an attorney in the NFL for 7 seasons, including 2 seasons as associate counsel of the Carolina Panthers. During her time in the NFL, she founded the first Black employee resource group, the Black Engagement Network, and Stride, the first Black employee resource group at an NFL team. That's big. I did not know that. She's just a proud double HBCU grad, first graduating from Hampton University, the other HU.
Honors we're not gonna start. I thought we wasn't gonna do this today.
You know, I had to.
Okay.
Honors as a D1 volleyball player, and then going on to obtain her Juris Doctorate from FAMU University College of Law. She's a passionate corporate and social justice activist, getting her initial spark from serving the family of Trayvon Martin as a legal intern while in law school and leading a national student movement. That's major.
The major, Mel. Welcome, and say welcome to the pod.
Thank you.
We got a lot to talk about.
Now, we definitely got a lot to talk about.
I mean, where you want to start?
First of all, I want to start on just your journey, right? You know, going to Hampton University, being an athlete there, an HBCU athlete on the volleyball team. Just speak on your journey, and how did you get to Hampton?
So, you know, playing volleyball in the Midwest, you know, you think about the big programs, and I truly wanted to be a professional volleyball player. But then my sister was a year ahead of me, and she started talking about she wanted to go to a HBCU. So she actually went to Jackson State University. But before that, she was looking at Morgan State. And so I went on a visit with her to Morgan State, and the coach there started recruiting me. And then I was like, oh, wait, so I could play D1 volleyball and get this Black experience that in Kansas City is not necessarily common. And so I started kind of wanting to go to Morgan State. And then eventually my mom told me about Hampton University, and they offered me a D1 scholarship. But the way I describe it is I literally feel like I got the best of both worlds. I got to play D1 volleyball, but still in this safe Black environment where I could be myself and not have to worry about racism, being the only one, which is very common in volleyball, being the only one on the team, especially back then in 2005. And the girls across the net were also all Black. Like, it was just this amazing experience. And you remember, like, but they're like, playing in the MEAC at that time was like special because it was highly competitive sports, and everyone looked like you. And so the games are lit, the band is playing, you know, even just like the cheers, everything is different, but you still got to kind of fulfill wanting to be a D1 top athlete, but also getting that Black loving, nurturing, illustrious education from your HBCU. So for me, it was amazing. Like, it was the best experience I could have ever had.
Yeah, now I talk about all the time. I say the best 4 years of my life, you know, regardless of what I've been able to accomplish or where I've been. I always say that's like my time at Howard was the best 4 years of my life. So just talk about like after Hampton, you know, we went to FAM, and even your experience in the NFL. Like just touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like people always ask me, I want to do what you did. And, you know, half of it is luck and half of it is obviously preparation and determination. It's a relationship business. And I was just grateful that a few people a long time ago saw something in me, like Kevin Warren, who was at the Vikings at the time, now commissioner of the Big Ten. You know, I got my first internship with him. So those are the people that kind of gave me my start. But then when I got in, I was like, I'm not leaving. But I took unconventional paths. Like, I took an internship after law school with NFL Films, and really just kind of got my foot in the door and bet on myself, which I know is one of your, you know, go-to sayings. And like, that's literally what I did. Like, my parents thought I was crazy taking an internship. And I was like, no, but if I get in, I'm not leaving. Like, I knew that part. So I was like, oh, if y'all let Ese in, she's not leaving. Yeah. And, you know, really kind of just built my career from there, went on to work at the league office during a very interesting time. There were all of the racial talks going, you know, obviously this is after Trayvon Martin. And then we had like this slew of, you know, unarmed Black men being killed. So that's what prompted us to start the Black Engagement Network, and then Cap Kneels. And so I'm there for that. I just started this Black group, and now we literally have the nation talking about, is the NFL racist?
Yeah.
So the timing was crazy, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like I was kind of in the middle of it, and I was literally the spokesperson for Black employees to all of leadership. So I'm a junior employee meeting with the commissioner and Troy Vincent and Kimberly Fields and all these other white executives who are being forced to talk about a topic that they frankly never had to talk about, for a long time internally at the NFL. So my career, I feel like I've been lucky to be a part of some amazing things at the Panthers. I got to work with Julius Peppers and other players like Chris Manhertz and other leaders in the team on, this is when the owners promised to match dollar for dollar whatever the players raised and donated to any social justice cause. And so that was an amazing experience, because I'm literally in the locker room like, you guys have all this power and you need to use it. And this is the time where you can call all of the owners to the carpet and say, okay, bet you want to do this, then we're going to do it with you. And I felt like we got a lot accomplished when I was there as well.
That's dope. That's
That's
dope.
what's up. What was that? What was that pivot like? Going from the NFL and then becoming getting into the media space. Obviously, you were the president, I believe, at House of Athlete when I Am Athlete and everything. They kind of just had their unbelievable just rise as far as our content. Obviously, we're dealing with a lot with the pandemic and things like that, and then y'all just kind of took over that space. What was that like? That type of experience? 'Cause I feel like that was a very unique one for anyone. But especially for a Black woman being in that space.
Yeah, it was,
it's still in the space.
It was a lot of things. It was a great experience for me professionally. I had known Brandon since I was an intern at NFL Films. I met him at a Pro Bowl. And we just stayed cool over the years. And, I started seeing him post about his business. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, do you have this? Do you have that? And so then we just got really, cool. And I started kind of just helping him on the side when I was still at the Panthers. So going full time, I had got kind of bored. I wanted to really learn about the media landscape because I saw this where it was going. Athletes, they all wanted their own media platform. They, the shop had started and all these things. And I'm like, I've always wanted to help players off the field and be someone that they can trust. Because you don't have a lot of people that look like you, that come from where you come from, but that also know how the league works, how the sports, companies work. I mean, how the sports media companies work. And so I wanted to be that for Brandon and the company. So I got to come in and do that. And it was really me betting on myself. I was like, all these years I've been successful, but it's when you're with the best sports company, the NFL, you really don't know what you're made of, right? Because it's like, am I in these rooms because of the shield or is it me? Am I good enough for, for success without the shield? And House of Athlete kind of gave me that opportunity. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about business. We're in the middle of the pandemic, the beginning of the pandemic when I went. But I knew we had something special. I even used to tell Brandon didn't think the show was even going to be a thing. And he's like, I need you to work on House of Athlete, and you spending too much time on I Am Athlete. And I'm like, bro, like there's something here that's special that we've never seen, especially from football players, right? We see NBA players talk they shit and be themselves, but you guys never really got the opportunity to do that. It's very much don't curse, no, don't talk about sex, don't talk about this. Like you have to stay in these lines. And I Am Athlete was the first time we saw prominent football players speaking freely about all topics. And so that was great to be a part of.
All right. Because before we get into the big conversation, I got to ask, so what are you up to now? Obviously, you have moved on. What are you up to now? Where are you? Where can we see your work?
Yeah, so right now I'm in LA, which I'm loving, by the way. It's my first time living West Coast. But I'm at Apple, so I work on Apple TV Plus. I'm original content counsel, so working on all of the packaging of our shows and films from a legal perspective. And really, I really wanted to learn the TV and film industry because, again, so many sports, talent want to get into the media space. And I was like, I need to learn that space because my dream is to bring sports and content together. but through a Black lens, be something that's for the culture with integrity. But first, you have to learn the business. So I'm blessed to be able to, be here and work for a really exciting streaming company. Like, we have some dope content coming.
No, that's dope. That's dope.
Congratulations on that.
No, for
Thank
sure.
you.
For sure. Like D Bus said, man, you get into a lot of the fuss is about right now, right? So Coach Prime, decision to leave Jackson State for Colorado, and obviously, you attending the HBCU, myself, and just a lot of people just having their difference of opinions on it, right or wrong, whatever the case may be. However you see fit, you can have your decision on that or your opinion on that. I know me personally, we kind of talked about it last week. Me selfishly, I was like, man, I hope he stays at Jackson State. But again, I know money talks, and at the end of the day, man or woman, they're gonna do what's best for them and best for their family. So again, I respect Coach Prime, making that decision. But again, it's a lot of talks on people on the outside as far like really don't know about the HBCU landscape, the culture, and why some people feel a certain type of way about Coach Prime leaving. And then I think you posted something that I read, and I actually reposted, and it was like
on point,
very well on point.
Yeah. Thank you.
For the people that can't see, I'm gonna read it real quick. As a former HBCU athlete, I know this won't be the first or last time a coach uses an HBCU as a stepping stone to go to a mediocre at best PWI. The only difference here is JSU and HBCUs benefited more than they usually do as stepping stones. The only lasting impact we can confirm at this time is the new JSU facility. Only time can tell what other impacts last in the post-Deion era. I hope the media deals and sponsorships last. I hope all the celebs, pro athletes, and media that sprinted to JSU for the primetime fanfare go back when he's not there. That they spread love and support to all the other HBCUs. Yes, there's more than the 3 or 4 you see on TV. Part 2. For the record, HBCU culture has been lit. HBCU athletics has long been a safe place for young Black athletes to play the sport they love at a high level while learning an illustrious education. Deion didn't make HBCUs relevant. Deion made mainstream media and pop culture comfortable, embracing the part of Black culture that isn't rooted in violence and exploitation. One could argue JSU made Deion more relevant than he's been in recent years. Deion doesn't owe HBCUs anything, and HBCUs don't owe Deion anything. And when I read that, man, I was like, man, that's spot on. I don't think you could have said it better.
Thank you.
How do you feel about the whole situation?
Yeah,
Coach
Prime. First of all, a lot of people, I think they want it to be something that's like this negative post, and it really isn't, right? Like, because I understand the business of sports. I understand, having to move for better opportunities. So, this isn't really about is Deion wrong or right? But I think we as HBCU fans, as HBCU alumni, as the Black community, we can have an opinion on something. But I think one, it's not what you do, it's how you do it, right? And so it's not just, oh, he went to a HBCU, so y'all should be happy, and he didn't, and he didn't have to go there. Well, one, you did come, right? We gave you a job, and I hate when people look at HBCU like charity. We don't have to be happy just because you came or just because you posted something or just because you brought attention. Deion did an amazing job from a PR standpoint, bringing sponsorships. I know a lot of them were his sponsorships that, seemed to kind of maybe carve out some for the school. And that's amazing. And the attention that, he brought on to JSU and HBCU sports, amazing.
For sure.
But it's how you do it. I think personally for me, and maybe this is just, it's going to have to be that way to get the attention. Sometimes it did feel like it was more about Deion than JSU and the HBCU culture. Sometimes he did come off like with this savior mentality, like he was saving HBCU sports. And a lot of people feel that way. And that should be a fair criticism. Just because you do something good for Black people doesn't mean that you're above approach and you're above criticism. I think it's how he's leaving, right? It seems like it's a little maybe premature. You're not even seeing maybe the classes that you brought in, seeing them through. People bring up the money. Well, newsflash, if you go to coach at an HBCU, it was never about the money. So to bring up money now, we've never been talking about money. What we have been talking about is this is a movement. And to truly say that you're a game changer for HBCU athletics and HBCUs, you have to see certain things through. You've won the SWAC. Somebody wins the SWAC every year, though.
I don't know about that part. As say, I think without a doubt, Coach Prime was a game changer.
But here, okay, so my post said the only lasting impact. So yes, for the last 2 years, people have been talking about JSU. I think what our community is saying is we hope that it lasts because so much of it was tied to Deion. Only time is going to tell how ESPN reacts, how the sports, is Bleacher Report still going to be posting the score of JSU versus Grambling? We don't know that until we see it. So yes, we can say that the last few years, there's been an amazing push for HBCU culture. You have the different, former NFL coaches and players going to different schools and coaching. So yes, we're seeing it. We're just hoping that it lasts because what we do know is that when something is hot and Deion is there, everybody was flocking there. But what was the goal? Was the goal for you to come see Deion and his sons and his family? Or was the goal for you to come support JSU and learn about this amazing culture that's been lit for years and decades, by the way? That's what we're hoping. And now I just read that he's taken 10 of his players with him. So what was the point of them going there?
That's the business. You know how this thing go. But business
and movement are two different things, right?
Yeah. I think that's the thing that people were saying is like when he came, it was like, hey, this is the movement that I'm about to start. This is what I'm trying to create here. This is the culture. So if it was about the business, just say, hey, look, I'm about the business. I'm coming here.
This is prime time we talk about, guys. This is Deion Sanders. It's the same human that we've seen for decades. That was decades ahead of the game as far as selling himself and his product and who he is. Not only as the athlete that was on the field, but the person, the entertainer, or whatever. And I feel like shit, even on any level, personality-wise, he's probably one of the biggest personalities in coaching. Now, JSU, a part of what you said, JSU also made him more relevant in a sense from that standpoint because he was coaching at high school, I believe, on a high school level. They came to JSU. And then now, obviously, but just like in coaching, we see these coaches take jobs. All the great coaches we know, they took jobs that they used as pedestals to step up until they get to their final destination. One of his things that he said to his team was like, it's elevation and termination. We know that to be very true on any level, from the pro level, any level when it comes to coaching. So I feel like a lot of us, me included, because I wanted to see it through too. I wanted to see Travis Hunter go top 10 from Jackson State, and then that be the thing because a lot of the things that he was saying was just the attention. Like you said, the culture has always been lit. I know about fam. I knew about being a Floridian, but the culture has always been lit. But those eyes, those attention, just like an artist or a group of artists or a type of music, and then that person takes it to a whole different level. When they leave, it's on some other people to carry that torch. I don't feel like it's fair for people to look at Prime and be like, yo, damn, he left motherfuckers high and dry. Now he did his thing. Now he went and left us to the PWIs, just like everybody else. He talked all that shit.
I'll challenge you on that. Deion said that's who he is. Deion said, I'm the great savior, baby. I'm here to save y'all. He literally told people.
Know about that.
He literally looked at people's face and said, I'm swag. You're not swag. You've never been swag.
Oh shit.
How are you swag when you've never been committed to the SWAC to begin with? You always knew that this was a stepping stone. And for someone who understands the business, I get it. But nobody told you to say you were swag either. Nobody told you to
He
say,
had to say he
I'm
was
here to
swag.
change the game.
He
No, he
have to.
didn't.
He did. Eddie Robinson
No,
told
he
him he wasn't swag. The coach Eddie Robinson Jr. said, "You ain't swag. If you a head coach in the swag, he's done something at his school with the illustrious career
Come
history that they
on.
do have.
Nah,
Hall of Fame. AB,
you
we
have to.
could go back to the
Nah.
You tell me I'm not swag. I'm in there. Mind you, it ain't like yes, they gave him a coaching opportunity, but it's not like Deion didn't sacrifice to go there as well.
What did he
And
sacrifice?
to any
What did he sacrifice?
coaching is hard as fuck, especially on the college level. You got to recruit. You can.
That's not a sacrifice. That's your job.
Yeah, you
That's
want
a
to do that.
sacrifice. That's a sacrifice from coming from what was he doing? Media, coaching in high school on his time. You moving to Jackson, Mississippi from Dallas. That in itself is a sacrifice. I don't care what you're doing in the job.
That's
All
the
those
coaching
things.
game. The coaching game is your best coaching job may be Green Bay. Who wants to move to Green Bay? Nobody. But if that's the opportunity, you take it. So again, I'm just hesitant to buy into this narrative, and I think that narrative is there. You guys should just be happy that he came and don't say anything and don't hold him accountable for what he said.
I'm not saying that, but he came to coach, to recruit.
But he said more than that, Derek. He said more than that. Like he did say more than that. He said God called him there. He said, I'm here because there's an issue and HBCUs deserve the same things that other schools get. And that I'm here to change the game. I'm here to change the swag. I am swag. With those comments and that attitude comes a responsibility. And it's fair for some people to be like, I don't think you lived up to what you said. And some people say, I'm calling bullshit. And this was never about the culture. This was about you getting an opportunity. And again, I'm not saying but some people have the right to hold him accountable.
Absolutely.
For that.
Everybody always has the right to their opinion. Something he also said was when the Power Fives, because everybody saw this being a potential step in this. Everybody saw that. I'm not gonna call it the end, but this is the new. Okay, he's going. I didn't see him staying at Jackson State for 10 years. I maybe saw him saying as far as his son was there. And that's another part of it too. Your son's going to be in the draft soon. So now you put him on a different stage. But he also said, when the Power 5 schools come calling, I am going to entertain that. I would be a fool not to. So like it wasn't like he came and said, hey, like I'm going to be, Eddie Robinson Sr. I'm going to coach here for 50, 60 years and do. No, he said he's going to do what he did. I don't
think anybody was expecting him to do that.
The way a lot of people talking right now, it's like, damn, he a sellout. He this, he that. Well,
I think you could argue Colorado. That's what you leaving. That's what you leaving the movement for. It seems like you went with the first person that called, because at one point it was all these other schools are recruiting you and you hot, and then you end up at Colorado. And again, why don't HBCU fans get to be like every other fan? Every other fan base gets to say, dang, Antoine Bethea, man, he's going to he free agency, he's going to another team. I'm mad at Antoine Bethea. Why don't we get to say that? Why don't we get to say we're sad that a good coach is leaving?
They don't call him a sellout though.
No, I've never called him a sellout.
I'm saying Brian Kelly go ahead, AB.
No, I definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't put that title on him as a sellout. You know what I mean? But again, the conversation to be had, and I was just going to be people on both sides of the fence. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not going to sit here and say what Prime didn't help JSU and didn't help the HBCU landscape. Like it'd be a fool to say that. But again, and that's like I said, selfishly, being an HBCU alum, being an HBCU grad, and just thinking like, oh man, Prime taking his job. Oh, and he had Nick Saban and he had the Power 5 coaches on the edge of their seat when Travis Hunter committed to JSU. It's like, damn, like he could really, really, really make a dent in the landscape, because these people are really a little nervous now. You know what I'm saying? So again, not expecting him to stay for 10 years, but that 4-year stay where more 4 stars, 5 stars are trying to make that move. Now the playing field, and even though the playing field wouldn't have been totally even, but you're gonna have those coaches at those Power 5s a little bit more nervous. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, that's what I was thinking. Like, man, a couple, like 2 more years.
I think so too.
A few more.
I wasn't never gassed up like that. I ain't believe that.
You didn't believe
but this,
because
like,
you know the resources, bro. Like that's. I feel like as a lot of people always see it as, and obviously y'all have a different experience. Y'all actually live the HBCU experience, but a lot of people always see it as like the athletes are going to be on the forefront of that type of like the athlete. Oh, these guys. Especially with college athletics, the athletes for the most part are going to go where the best facilities, where I'm playing on TV, where I'm playing the best competition. So when we change that part of it first, however we can get the resources to build these 78, because that's the arms race
that's not going to happen though without the players. Like
the players going to come. It can't be the players.
And here's like the harsh part of the conversation, right? A movement takes sacrifice. And as a community, if we don't come together, athletes, prominent coaches, prominent people that have, resources and money, if it's not a community effort, then it's not going to happen. So yeah, you are going to need some athletes. Like, look, I know they don't have the best facilities, but it's people like me that have to go there, because the top athletes, the talent, the Black talent, that's what's going to bring the eyeballs. That's what's going to bring the media deals and the partnerships. So to say that, oh, well, HBCUs, y'all got to get the money first and then come holler at us. That's not even just an HBCU thing. Even like you were in the league. We were all in the league when the Colin Kaepernick shit was going on. When the nil, everybody got called. Everybody talked to their family. I was having a conversation. Man, you know what y'all should have did? All y'all should have not played. All y'all should have did this and did that. Oh, they need y'all. Yeah, which is very, very true. They do need us. We are the engine that runs it. We are the people that tune in to watch. But when somebody leaves or walks off a job and you got an opportunity to play professional football for 4 years, what other league are you going to go to? You're going to say, I'm going to sacrifice this. I'm going to go play in the Rock League, in the XFL. I'm going to go to the CFL. I'm going to go to some other. If the league isn't there for the players or the athletes to go to, it's not gonna happen. Like it's like putting a cart before the horse. You can't. That's not realistic, in my opinion. But here's the thing: players that are good make it out of the MEAC and the SWAC. Right now, I know last year Shaq Leonard was the highest paid LB in the NFL. Came from South Carolina State, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking if there were 20, 30, 50 Shaq Leonards in the MEAC, right? So now you're playing against top talent on each team. Then more of you guys would go to the NFL. More of you guys would make it to the next level. Because I know, and football is harder than basketball. I think basketball, shit could change instantly if the Mikeys of the world and the Bronnies of the world go there, because one, they're only going to school for 1 year anyway. So if you can't spend 1 year at HBCU, and if a 1 year at HBCU is going to hurt your chances, you're not that good to begin with, because college has never mattered for NBA. Yeah. Football, I know it's about
more influence too.
Yeah. Football, I know it's about you have to play against bigger guys and faster guys. But again, that's where the community comes in. But if people aren't up for the movement, then just say that, because it's going to take sacrifice. The money isn't going to be able to compare with Texas, Colorado,
it never will. It never will.
We're not going to be able to compete there.
I wouldn't say. I mean, they gotta. We got to understand the real dynamics that are here at play, which we all understand. They got hundreds of years of a head start, and all these different things. I feel like we are in a time and space though, where it is possible when you have shit. That says an Apple right now. Mm-hmm. If you like places in the industry like that where you can come and take like all these different streaming services that you can have. There are places in town we have Black people or people that are just up for change or want to be involved in something different. Don't have to be all Black, but just be diverse. Where you start something in 2022 and easily by 2028. Now that's what's really gonna have motherfuckers scared. It ain't gonna be recruits going here and there. What's gonna have people scared is 8-league team that people can leave out of college and go to, say after 2 years of being out of high school and go play and make just decent money on any level. That's going to really and then because once other advertisers or somebody else comes in and say, hey, I want to be a part of that. Yeah, I want to be a part of change. So these little kids, 25-year-old billionaires, who say, yeah, I put 500 million in that. That's when, and then you have the athlete that come out and say, okay, that shit dope. They partner with so and so. They partner with here, we're there. Now we can really. That's the real movement, which I'm
I
down for.
understand that.
I just, from a reality standpoint, I know, man, people raising their kids, and you got a kid that say, hey, this kid can be a top 5 pick. Most parents not gonna say I'm down for the movement. Most parents gonna say I'm gonna put my kid in the best situation.
That's the problem.
That's the problem, D-Butt. That's what we're
How's
saying.
that a problem? How's that a problem for a parent putting their kid in the best situation that they see for their child?
But you're assuming that an HBCU is not a great situation. And here's the thing.
Didn't say that.
HBCU is a great situation.
But that's what it's inferring. Yeah, that's what it's inferring.
You automatically saying that a Power 5 is the best situation for any kid. That's what you're saying. The facilities look good, like, and that's not the case. So that's not the case. Like, just because your facility looks better doesn't mean it's a perfect situation for a child.
Absolutely not. No, it's much more that goes into, especially in those formative years, that goes into a man or woman. The HBCU experience is much better for a Black individual in that space. If you're talking about athletics, just purely athletics, and it's not only from going from high school to college or pro, strictly athlete. House of Athlete. If you say, hey, you can go train at House of Athlete every day, or I'm gonna go train at Athlete of House every day, you putting your child in that situation is a better situation for your child. It'll be if they want to be in computers and
if you're looking at it one dimensionally, and like that's
which most parents are.
That's the challenge though, right? So what is wrong? What is wrong with a few of us from the community saying, hey, it's bigger than that? And to come together and to try to change the game truly, you have to buy in. And it can't just be the athletes. It can't just be the big name coaches. It can't just be the pro athletes. It can't just be the media companies that are going to spend the money and the sponsorships. It has to be everybody coming to the table. And if you don't buy into the movement, then people just need to say that. But we're trying to talk to people that buy into the movement. All these players, what's the percentage of players that go to Power 5 that make it to the NFL?
Oh shit, I don't know. Low.
It's low.
Yeah,
it's low. Very low, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
There's a few that go, but somehow it's wild to think that everybody or half of those people couldn't go to an HBCU, as if you're just guaranteed to go to the league because you go to a Power 5. What happens to most players when they stop playing? Trouble finds them, either mentally, financially, socially. They're lost. They don't have a network. They don't have an education. Those are things that HBCUs can help with. You have a foundation. You have this. I know so many players who aren't even comfortable in their Blackness. But you think, and just being from the hood doesn't make you comfortable in your Blackness. Growing up poor doesn't make you comfortable in your Blackness. Having Black friends doesn't make you comfortable in your Blackness. And those are things that when you go to a historically Black college or university, you don't struggle with those things. Because for those 4 years, you see Black excellence as a standard. And that is an intangible. And so if people don't value the intangibles of a Black education, having a safe space, not having to worry about, is this person going to call me the N-word? Not having to worry about racist teachers. Those are things that it sounds small. And I know we don't like to look at student athletes as students, but I care about their education because I see them when they retire and they call me and they're lost and their money got stolen because they don't even know anything about their money. So why can't we push that? And if you're going to bring up money, anyone that brings up money to begin with, I know that they either haven't caught on to the movement or they're not for the movement because it's bigger than money. It's bigger than money.
It's always bigger than money. I when we're talking about in the conversation that we have when it comes to the sports part of it, the sports is the money in the sport. Like we know how that works. The movement, and then it's going to come down to each child or athlete, student athlete going and making these choices. The parents are involved, coaches, handlers, all these people that are already agents. That shit, NIL fresh in high school at this point. So now, I feel like the game gonna get even more wicked when it comes to that. So,
You will.
and just like when we
Which I
have
actually
that,
think helps HBCUs. I think NIL helps because now companies can get money directly to these players. I know some players, with the money under the table from the boosters, it's hard to turn down. My mama needs a house. Well, now there's an avenue where money doesn't always have to come from the university. It can come from companies if you're top talent. And there's this other debate that it frustrates me so much. Athletes think that they are not the prize, the school is the prize. I'll never forget having that debate that went viral with Fred T and Channing and Brandon. And I'm like, Fred Taylor, you are Fred Taylor, but it's Florida. But you are Fred Taylor. So you mean to tell me that you couldn't go to FAMU and still be that guy? Why? Channing, but lobster. They had lobster. Like, you mean to tell me that you couldn't, you Channing, and you going to an HBCU, like you weren't gonna be that good? That's ridiculous. And we've been conditioned to think that the talent is not what pays the bills.
And it's
the NFL would not be the NFL without the Black players and the Black talent. So why have you been conditioned that you need lobster and a fancy gym to be that guy?
So that's why I was that was like my biggest thing as far as the Coach Prime. It's like you had Power 5 on the edge of their seat, yo. Like, and that was just with one. That was with one recruit. That was with one recruit. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is like, hey, I know you're not, because we lived it. Like, we understand the money's not there, the facility's not there. You're not gonna have that. You're not going. The administration you got to deal with. So it is tough. But I understand. I hope he understood that before taking the job. He knew what he was getting himself into. You know what I mean? So now,
I think then he have his salary to finish the
yeah. So he did a lot. So again, now the conversation can't be, oh, I didn't have this, I didn't have that. Walking into the situation, you knew what you was going to be dealing with. So again, with that one recruit, you shook shit up.
Yeah. And things can keep changing. Like, things aren't going to change overnight. I hope no one thought, oh, well, he was there and he still needed X, Y, and Z. Well, those things take time. Like, did he think that everything was going to do a 180 in 2 years? One of the things I do think
we know Deion didn't think that. Absolutely not. I feel like it's a Deion conversation, and then it's the people that have their opinion about what Deion was supposed to do, what he did, and what he's doing now. I think I would say, I don't want to speak for him, but I would say he knew what he was getting into fully. Maybe, once you think you get into something, once you actually get into it, it's always a different experience. So maybe he got into it and had a different experience. And then I think the other element that a lot of people are leaving off is his son. He and whether you agree with it or not, he feels like having his son playing in the Big 12 is going to give him a better opportunity to be drafted higher. To Isaiah's point, if you're a good player, you're a good player. When you have these evaluators, we've all been around them. It's evaluator playing at school A compared to school B, you're gonna get drafted in a different spot. So that's maybe for his quarterback, Shador. And then I know his older son, Shiloh, he already had that experience at South Carolina before transferring to Jackson State. So I don't know if he's following him over to Colorado. But obviously, it's a lot of layers to this conversation. And these are conversations that we've had. You got to buy into the movement. I'm for the movement. The movement. Yes, but I also live in reality. So the reality of it.
Let's take that same statement. Before there was segregation, you had people that wanted
that's a whole nother conversation.
And then you had somebody say, "Listen, I hear you, SA. I hear you, MLK. But reality is the white folk, they not gonna let us do it. So why would we even do it?"
That's not a conversation. It's not the same conversation.
It's not for the faint of heart. But I'm just saying the principle of what you're saying is, yes, I'm not stupid. I know the reality right now. What I'm saying is, if a few good players do what Travis Hunter did, if more coaches did what Deion did, and they actually saw some of it through, that's where the change happens. So then 5, 10, 15 years from now, our kids don't have to pay the price that they did. And so, yeah, it's a big ask, but that's what all movements are, is a big ask.
So
But things
going back,
can't change until they change.
okay, but going back to that movement, even with that move, which we were doing, we were building and creating our own, right? And
Yeah.
then we had the Tulsa race match. We had different things where you had high functioning black society, black sided neighborhoods, business, banks, all we had our own shit. And then with the whole, we wanted to desegregate and come into their shit, right? As opposed, we have to, if we were to build our own, and I don't think, this is just my opinion, I could be dead ass wrong. I don't think that personally starts with the athlete. I feel like the athlete is going to go. The athlete, we're talented, we are student athletes, but you're going to go to where the resources are. So it's the innovators, the people in tech, the business people, the doctors, the people with the resources. You build that shit, then that's going to accelerate that movement 10, 15, 20x, because it's something I can see it already. I know I can go there and go and do this right now.
I
So
think
like
it has to be
that's
both. I think it
Yeah,
has to
I
be
think
both.
again, I think
I agree. I agree with
definitely has
that.
to be both, because I feel like the when the athletes are there, that's when the change will come as far as just the performance, and then from there,
Yeah.
that's when the
The
company will
athlete's
come.
gonna be there like this.
Yeah, but it has to come together, right? And so it's like, that's what I'm saying, is like, it's not on one side. It's us as a community saying, okay, this is my job. I'm coming with the money. You got to give me the players, right? Because that's what people are following, is the talent. You got to have, you got to get the coach. And if all those things come together, which is what seemed to be happening at Jackson State, I think that is the recipe for change. It can't just be the dollars aren't going to come if they don't have something to hold on to. Okay, like, who's that Antoine Bethea that's there, right? Who's that Shaq Leonard that's there? Who are those people that are there that are going to put on a show? Because that's what we're paying for.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be both. Everybody has to chip in. Athletes have to chip in. Celebrities have to chip in. All those things were happening at JSU. I just think the community is saying, dang, it seems like the project wasn't finished. And it seems like some of the things that you said you were going to be for HBCUs, you weren't. And then there's this outside chatter that HBCUs should just be grateful that he even came. HBCUs are not a charity case. We don't need charity. We need support. And there's a difference. Like, we are the Mecca. We are the ones that are educating the next doctors, lawyers, business people. We are the ones that are providing the only safe space for Black people in their most formidable years to come into adulthood in a safe environment where it's okay to be Black and excellent at the same time. So that's what you have to buy into. And all I'm saying is, I'm questioning his commitment to some of the things that he said. And I think it's a little premature. And I think it looks a little bad that he's taken, arguably, maybe, I don't know the players, but now you're taking your top players. So now you've almost depleted the program.
Quarterback.
That's kind of BS. That's BS. And people have the right to call BS. You don't get, just because there's this thought that, well, I give money to Black people all the time, that you can't make a mistake. Look at Kanye. He's done great things for Black people, but we can't criticize him. And if we criticize him, then now it's us crabs in a barrel and us hating on other Black men. No, you still have a responsibility. And so much is given, much is required. And so that's all that I'm saying. And I think a lot of Black people are saying is they're calling BS on some things.
Yeah. It's well said, and I feel like this is the conversation that I think people are gonna continue to have. Again, I wish Coach Prime much success on his next move
for sure.
Going to Colorado. But again, HBCU at the heart, man. So we always gonna ride for
who taking over at Jackson State?
They have
Lee.
I think he tried to say, I think his assist in that one video I saw to the team, he said somebody's name, but he said it still needed to be approved. So. Yeah,
so it hasn't really been decided yet, but great conversation. It's a conversation that's needed.
Yeah.
As always,
I'm for the movement, essay, okay?
No, I don't trust it. I don't know.
Essay, we appreciate you. We appreciate you joining the show. Gotta have you more often.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Keep doing great things, and
y'all too, man. Y'all, I'm proud of y'all for real. And Antoine, like you know, I bring your name up all the time in my debates, but I think you have really kind of set the bar really high for putting HBCUs on the map, and like just even how long you played, you know, because people say all the time, like, who came out? And it's like, I'm like, Antoine. So
14 years.
man,
Yeah.
and you got to talk about it. So like if
Got
more
to, for
people
sure.
did what you did, you know, like for real, I think that's where you start changing. So kudos to you for real, because I think you're one of the best examples of if you're good, you're gonna make it.
Yeah,
That's a fact. Speaking of Wednesday, we find out my dog make the Black College Hall of Fame, which we
Really?
putting that good energy out there.
Yeah.
Okay, that should be a layup. That should be a layup.
You know, it's you know,
we not that would be disrespectful. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's, you know,
it's a fact.
We got to go
That's
through what we got to go through. You know,
nah, you should be a shoo-in for sure. You deserve all your flowers, and
I appreciate
that.
You as well. Like I love what y'all do. I love your comments on the culture, and I love to see Black men win. So
thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Thank you.
All right.
Wait, you're a Chiefs fan? I should have asked her. She said, I know she's from Kansas City. It's probably big Chief shit right now.
Right, man. That's a great convo, though. Great conversation, man.
Nah, fact.
That we can always have, and people express their opinions without, you know, feeling a certain type of way. Probably went over a little bit more, but you know, conversations that need to be had before we let y'all go, man. We got Monday Night Football tonight. We got the Saints at the Bucks. Divisional matchup. Hopefully, I can keep this money line
13-0.
Perfect.
Where you going? Wherever you going, I'm going.
I'm going with the Bucks. I see Nikki in the comments asking if I'm gonna change my pick. I'm not gonna change my pick. I feel like I got the good juju this week. I'm rocking with the Saints, man. I think for my sake, D-Bucks, stay with the Saints. Please don't come over to the Bucks.
I'm staying with the Saints, man.
All right.
You're damn right. I'm staying with the Saints. But I after your weekend, I don't feel confident. I'm not gonna. I have zero confidence at all. Just like when I picked the Colts to cover against the Cowboys. But ride with the Saints, baby.
Hey,
who that?
Hey, shit. I'm gonna try to put some. I'm in North Carolina, man, and that FanDuel, man, we gotta get something. North Carolina, man, we gotta get it right. So I'm gonna call somebody, see if they can put a little parlay together for me. D-Buck, you doing the same game parlay tonight?
Yeah, but I think I'm putting one together. I ain't doing this Sunday on the site, so I'm gonna put one together. Probably. I know Kamar had a rough week last week, lost 2 fumbles. I think he bounces back this week. Brady passed the yards, always a good one. Evans probably getting the touchdown. I'm gonna definitely put something together. If you got any help, any legs, I just need a good Olave anytime. He been balling too. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely put probably a 4-leg because these 5 legs been messing me up. It's always that last one. So I might go 4. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely put something together. I'm still out here in Arizona, so I can bet. But yeah, you know, if y'all on the book, you know, use the book, bet responsibly as always, have fun with it. Hopefully AB finish up this perfect week, man. If I lose this one, I won't even feel. Hey, I'm letting y'all right now. Y'all bet with AB, man. You know, I'm just going with mine because I got some conviction. I'm sticking with but I ain't changed mine since the last minute. Y'all stay tuned on the Twitter, man. Hashtag M2M Live. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. I know we went a little longer. You know, little bonus episode. We might clip this up and have this as a bonus convo. It's a convo that, you know, I feel like it's been had a lot of places. And this ain't a new convo. It's a conversation I feel like we've been hearing and having for forever. And hopefully, you know, Prime started something and it continues to go that way. And what he did and this, you know, being on Aflac and having, you know, the big companies that came in, College Game Day coming back. And a lot of people were confused thinking this was the first time that College Game Day went to a HBCU, which they had already been to HBCUs previous times before that, man. So once again, man, we always had these conversations. I think we all want to get to the same place, man. But it was a good one. Appreciate Estee once again for jumping on.
Yeah, and everybody, like, even, our day ones, we always say, like, we want this situation to be like in the locker room. And this is a typical locker room conversation. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Guys sitting around and, talk about, a Power 5 versus HBCU. These are conversations that I had my entire 14-year career. Again,
Yep.
I think that the good thing is that we can come in here and we can have
Rob Mathis.
Yeah, we can have these differences of opinions. But again, respect one another's opinions. You know what I mean? So again, it's I think we all want the greater good. We want people to win. So again,
Yep.
man, I'm excited for Prime. Whenever you take a next step in your career, and you can go and make change somewhere else, salute to him. What he did at Jackson State, again, brought a lot of stuff to Jackson State, to Jackson, Mississippi, brought more eyes to HBCU. So we're not going to take anything away from Coach Prime, but obviously, some things, me selfishly, being an HBCU grad, some things that I question. But again, man, we appreciate y'all tapping in with us. It's the Man to Man Pod.
Wait, real quick before you get, because I just thought and this is something we've been talking about too, a lack of black head coaches on the Power 5 level as well. So hopefully he continues to open doors there. And shout out to Colorado too. I know Colorado was some shit last year, 1-11. It's been ugly out there. But this is now their third black head coach that they've hired in a row. And I don't think that's probably ever been done at a Power 5 school. So once again, to your point, we definitely rooting for Coach Prime in that Colorado Buffalo squad now. I don't think I ever would have said I was rooting for Colorado Buffaloes.
Hey, but as always, start your week off right, man. Get your cardio in, get at least 30 minutes in. I got mines in this morning. Today was leg day. So definitely, man, get your cardio in. Health is wealth. As my man Tone says, smack that like button.
Yes, sir.
All that good stuff. We appreciate y'all as always. Showing love. Man, we gone. See y'all on when we go. What's that? Thursday?
What's today? Thursday. Yeah. Thursday. I'll be live from the Thunderdome.
Oh, I'm gonna holler at you about Thursday. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it Thursday, but I'm gonna let you know.
Good. Hit me.
But we out.
Appreciate y'all.
Gone.